Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here today with James Little, aka Soapy Jim. Hi, James. How are you doing?
Hello, Fiona. Yeah, I got.
Welcome and thanks for coming on. You're now, am I saying this right? Soaperie.
The Soaperie. I'm in the Soaperie, Caurnie Soaperie. Some people think it's rude saying the Caurnie Soaperie, so they adapt it to the Caurnie Soaperie, but it's Caurnie.
It's the Caurnie, right? Okay, and you're based Kirkintilloch, aren't you?
I'm in Kirkintilloch, which its nickname was Old Caurnie. That's where the name comes from.
Right.
It comes from.
And it's a pretty old business, isn't it?
Yeah, we're approaching 100 years. We've got 2 years to go till we're 100 years. We bought, in fact, we bought. My grandfather bought the equipment with invoices from 1921, but we really kicked off in 1922.
Right. Okay.
We've all said 22, but I came across the invoices. He bought the equipment in 1921, so tail end of 21.
And so has the process, right? So first of all, your main thing that you make is soap, isn't that right?
That's historically we're the world's oldest cold process soap maker.
Right.
So we're the custodians of the cold process. We're the only one that kept it going over the years worldwide. It really was nearly lost, and in the 70s, the Americans started discovering it and made it popular again. But it's never really been not popular. But it's annoying if I see somebody saying we've rekindled a long lost art of cold process soap making. Well, it was never lost, actually.
Anyway. We've been doing it all along.
That's me getting soap snobby. That's somebody said you're a soap snob. Guilty. Well, don't blend.
Soap. So tell us a wee bit about the business then. What it is that you make.
Right. Well, we make historically we've done. There's a white block of soap we've done right from the start, like an alabaster finish. We still do that, and we've got customers about the place still looking for it. About a 6-inch long block of white alabaster pure soap, good for multiple chemical sensitivities. We then we then went through many years. We did 50 years as a family of directly taking the soaps directly to customers once a month with my grandfather. I think his brother was involved, and then it passed to my father and his brother. All these years, there would be once a month the Caurnie man would come to say Bearsden or went out as far. He went to Clydebank and Rutherglen and Kings Park and all round Kilsyth and just touching on Falkirk. So once a month the Caurnie man would come, but it was only to selected customers. It wasn't everyone. It would be maybe, it's a bit like what it is now. It's word of mouth. It wouldn't be every single door. Some say, oh, you went round the doors. Well, no, not really, but not really. Yes, it was regular. And then we moved into Whole food shops in the 1970s. The Grassroots, the big round bins of soaps that you used to see in Grassroots and Great Western Road. They were Caurnie soaps. They were unbranded, but it was they were flying saucer shapes. Then we went into farmers markets. We've done farmers markets for 20 years. Places like Mulgai Farmers Market or the West End Market in Partick. We've done that, and we do it every week. We do in Edinburgh and Perth once a month, and St Andrews. A range of places we go to in Scotland. And then we've also done shows more recently, or straddling that, we've done shows like the Country Living Show. Folk will maybe have seen me at the Country Living Show, and we look sort of rustic. My style is ruggedly rustic because it's not. It's really our style. Ruggedly rustic means it's not very chic and it's more sort of naturally gritty and grainy. That's our style.
And you've got some unusual ingredients in your soap. And I say unusual as in comparison to mass-produced soaps. Yours is very different, isn't it? It's not just the way that you make it, it's what goes into it as well.
There's about 5 key differences. And first, a big seller for me is the nettle soap that I do, and it's great for skin conditions. But there are many other people. It spawns a whole pile of folk want to do the same thing, but none of them really know exactly how to do it. And well, I'm not telling folk, but I get some folk funny sort of looks. But why won't you tell me? Why? It's big enough market for all of us. Well, that's just commercial sense not to let out what you can do rather than So I do that. But that's one of the ingredients. We have a herb garden. In fact, I just popped out half an hour ago. I got a whole pile of the herbs.
Wow.
These are just from the garden. Things like, I'll probably come on to some of these later, but there's thyme. It's the only way I get thyme this type of weather. There's valerian, rosemary, which is a big herb for us.
It's a shame we don't have scratch and sniff, Jim.
I know. Well, I quite often do aroma bots. An aroma bot. I'll sniff it. This is woodruff. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, I'm the aroma bots. I tell them what the smells like. But there's angelica.
And these are all growing in your own garden, then?
These are all completely sourced from our garden. The wild garlic grew a couple of years ago. It just popped up. It just likes our garden. Sage, that was my first one. Years and years ago, I grew sage. I'm not that keen on it now, to tell you the truth. It's one of these things, I've had too much of it. So I might put it. I should really put it a wee bit in my tea. I'm making tea here. There's my tea. It's quite good for tea, and it just adds something to it. Good for throats, etc.
Yeah, I love nettle tea. That's one of my favourites, actually.
Well, nettle tea is big. We're big in nettles. I don't always waste it in tea because it's a nettle. Down this side of the rough end, these are the ruffians, the brambles and the dandelion, but that's nettle there. So you can touch it if you know how to touch it. You can touch nettle. You don't get a sting, but you do. But that's nettle.
So you have to kind of touch it in the direction, the way that the spikes are going.
When you grasp the nettle, that's grasping the nettle. But if you can sting yourself by. I picked it probably about 10 minutes, 15 minutes ago. So it's beginning to, the mechanical, the wee stings are mechanical, and they don't go on too long. But they will sting. It is stinging nettle. Every batch I get major stings. I get tons of stings, but it's just stings. It only lasts a night, and then you don't have to,
hazard of the job.
Nothing to worry about right now. The nettle stings. That's my attitude.
Yeah, that's true. So, how has your business been affected by the lockdown that we're in at the moment, then, James?
It's impacted us quite a lot. All our farmers' markets have all gone. Every one. All our shows have gone. We should have just been coming back from the Country Living show in London. I've been going to that show 29 years. Well, 28 years, because this year, the 29th year, we didn't go, and that's affecting us quite a lot. Other things, well, I'm not sure exactly how. They're like the agricultural show, the Campsie show. That type of thing will be off. All the Royal Highlands show, tons of that's all been pulled. As it should be. We can't really be doing a gatherings of infected people. We can't do that. But what we have done, we've been doing a lot more mail order. We're busy with mail order. I'm just myself in the soapery. Anyone I've had is furlonged. They're all. It's only me. And I have to. We're just adapting. In fact, some ways we've been moving that way anyway. We're taking the wrappings off things anyway. Some folk need a nice wrap on it for. Well, we're really pretty much that's gone in with the zero waste type thing, which we've been doing anyway. They're getting it unwrapped, taking the plastic out. I sometimes use. You can use. Paper wrap, you can use like a paper, and you've just got to, whatever's appropriate. I think I'm a great believer. Perfection's the enemy of. I think it's a phrase. It is the enemy of the good, and I think I'm a believer in that. You can't, if you're a perfectionist, you don't do anything. You sort of get stuck in.
Yeah, you just kind of procrastinate over things rather than actually just get something done.
I've got a phrase for it: thinking, doing, reviewing. So you think about it before you do it, but you then have to do it, and then you review what you've done. Thedoring, I call it. Thinking, doing, reviewing, and that's an easy way to. If you sometimes I'm in the not quite ready to do, and that's a big crime I've got. That I don't. I think about a thing and don't do it. But I found if you just do a thing, you'll learn by doing whatever, and
yeah. And having something is better than having nothing.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. It's that's my experience. I think I've been doing this since '79, so 41 years full time at Caurnie Soap.
Wow.
Took over. Father passed away, and there's the company has really had about 5 generations involved, but it was my grandfather who was the instigator. He had another partner, he had a business partner who lasted a couple of years, and he then carried it on through loads of hard times.
Yeah.
Things like the Second World War. He was in the First World War, came out of that, and then Second World War. His sons would. He had 4 children, but his sons would have been working. 2 of the boys, with my dad and Uncle Jim, would have been went away to war, and fought in the Second World War. So that would have been quite a.
And at that time, James, was your soap thought of as a kind of luxury artisan type soap then, or was it more of a standard type?
It was always seen as maybe not luxury, but quality. I think a quality was always, we always found we got on better with, in recessions, people go back to quality. They get rid of frippery and then just go back to quality. And if it's something good, it's better than, it's the underlying thing that's good rather than the wrapping of it. So yes. we've always done well in recessions. So in the 70s, that was the one my dad would have managed their way through. I remember down here it would have been candlelight they did when the 3-day week. That was a tough one. We got through that one, and each time it can be. I just think it can be a good. It can be a time for good as well. It's really quite a harsh time, but it makes you, I've been getting through, clearing up bits, whole piles of the soap that I've been getting into and sorting bits out that you really sometimes do. If you're doing farmers markets every weekend, you come back on a Monday and you don't have an awful lot of energy. Same with into the country living. You're driving down to the middle of England or London, you're driving to London, or you're doing that Royal Horticultural Show in Hampton Court, and that's 7 days of selling. But a good thing is doing all these things. I've worked hard the last 4 years, really hard, and a lot of the customers they know they can't get it anywhere else, and if they can remember about it, they've all been coming in an awful lot of them, well, not all, a lot of them coming in for really good orders, that's encouraging. Loads support that way.
Yes. So. And it's not just soaps that you do, you've got a wider range of products now, haven't you?
We've got things like care condition, we've got shampoo in glass bottles. This I'm not usually here. I'm right beside all my sales stuff. This is now I'll do my aroma bot here. Here's my aroma bot.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, that's lovely. But that's geranium. Oh, I love geranium. It's like Turkish delight. That's what they say. So I can be an aroma bot. Other things, shower gel. What else have we got here? Shower gel, orange and marigold. Again, it's lovely and fruity. So it also spreads nicely. We've got moisturizers. That's my net. Well, that's not a testament. Don't want to waste product. This is a nettle moisturizer. So we put that on. And this is, again, great for eczema and psoriasis. I sell them in massive, big containers as well. These big ones. That's a big one. I'm more than what I'm selling of the the big ones. But I do an even bigger one. I'm going to knock things down.
And is that moisturiser? Did you say
moisturiser? That's
right.
That's 192 quid. So I sell not as much. I sell a lot of the 80 quids, 80 quid, but it rubs right in and it's not greasy. It leaves the hands, and it's great for. But right now that's so popular because everyone's washing their hands to excess, and even with a good soap, they notice the difference with a good soap, but the moisturiser just adds that extra when you're doing a huge amount of washing. It's been really popular, so and it's worked out. And people that know about it, they're coming out the woodwork looking for more because it does last a long time. So
people will be using loads of it just now because we're constantly got our hands washed and covered in alcohol, and everybody's skin's probably quite dry. So I think that'll be something people are really looking for. Is that nettle?
I'm making these hand sanitizers, and it is, you get a bit. It is. I'm using a lot of it myself, just to keep. When your hands are in hand sanitizer, it's it's probably quite healthy in this environment too. But that's what folks says. Oh, you come into Soaperie. Well, when they come into Soaperie, I have a strict 2 meter, and sometimes you got to say to most people, they fit in with that because they know it's in both their interests. But I occasionally get folk forgetting because they've been in, and I say, look, you've got to stay back the 2 meters. There's a line in the floor. You can't. You've got to stay back. So everyone, I think, has a two sides to them. It's very much in their minds, and then their minds will try and make them forget about what all things that are going on. So
I think every time you go into a new environment, you forget, and you have to kind of relearn, don't you, and remind yourself what the situation is in at the moment.
That she was up in one of the local supermarkets, and somebody was sort of telling her off, but she'd never been in the pharmacy up at the supermarket. This lady was saying, "You don't put your trolley there," but I don't know what you're supposed to put your trolley. But so then my daughter was complaining she had to move across to move the trolley, and she's moving into within a meter of the lady. That's you have to. You've got to think big picture, and you've got to be kind to each other as well. Folk don't know. It's a mixture of
understanding. Not everybody's in the same boat, and not everybody's having exactly the same experience under lockdown. Everyone's got different pressures on them, haven't they?
I think that might be in the pharmacy queue. Maybe there's other things going on in people's lives, and it's maybe it might. Yeah, and you've put it. That's exactly what it is. If a big harmful thing is going on in their family, then they've maybe not got any other route to take it out on but other members of the queue, and it's it might not be probably at the time, but it is quite I don't think she did anything. I think she just seethed internally, which isn't very good for your psyche. No. The lady was they might have probably had other things going on. But.
Okay, I think everyone's had an experience like that recently. There's a lot of stress going on, isn't there? And you've got some herbs for us, haven't you? Any of them de-stressors?
So what was that? Any
de-stressors?
Yeah, there are. Well, there's a lavender. I've got the lavender.
Oh, I love lavender.
That just out now. Oh, lovely. If you like lavender, the actual lavender is it's just growing very well. So that's just picked out from that's the one in my doorstep. That's that lavender. It's also relieving stress. It's good for, and it just looks lovely. Lavender's antiseptic. I call it antiseptic. That's one of my terms on it. And antiseptic. During farmers markets, I've got loads of these lines. But heading out to customers. So that's there. There's a woodruff. Woodruff's growing well just now. You can see a woodruff. These are all from my herb garden. I think I've picked. I can't remember. I've lost count. I've got more. I'd counted about 10, but I think there's about 15 there. Maybe more. That's the woodruff. It's again. Most of them have a lovely smell. Not all. Yeah. Not all.
I don't think I've heard of that one before. Is it?
Yeah, woodruff. It's a strewing herb. When it's dried, It it's more a strewing herb. You would it's got quite a, sometimes when you cut grass, it's got that same sort of, there's something nice about woodruff.
Right.
You see, I've got bits of grass. I just pulled it off from the garden. Another nice one that I sell a lot of is I've got a yarrow lawn. So that's yarrow, and if anyone's out in the countryside, looking about the countryside for things, you might not see much lavender. You might see a few wee escapees from gardens, but you will see yarrow. It's got a lovely white umbellifer flower. It's but I use that. That's good as a wood. That's a good wood. Another one that I've not got here, but I have in my house is the aloe vera, of course, that a lot of folk know about. But it's actually better growing, keeping it in your house, aloe vera. And if you get a wee burn or something, you just break out one of the arms of the aloe vera, and it makes a sort of, it's like a snortery, mucusy. It really sort of forms a skin. If you wipe it over your skin, it forms it's like a second skin and a protective skin, and that's really how you use it. We have done it in products, but when you process it, I think the processing, you can get more. We found it would have more folk having problems with it than anything. Even our nettle, you get folk having problems. You'll get one a year they would have a problem with it. So it's not everyone can use it. There's just some folk, one a year somebody's got an allergy. In fact, the guy who works with me says, I've listened to you 3 years saying that you get one a year, and I've never heard of anyone actually coming and having it. So I think I'm out at markets, and you do get about one a year. I think is probably about accurate. But he's said he made that funny comment. It might be one every 3 years. You're saying, well, anyway, it's by the by. But that's the nettle. So you'll find it. Now another good thing with nettle, when you see nettles about, now don't go picking it all, because I want some myself left, by the way. But the nettle it's very good for a rheumatic arthritic joint. If you need to take a bigger clump than this, and you need to say you have an elbow, you actually flay it. Now that's stinging me. I can feel the stings there, but you get a bigger clump, and you can feel that sting coming up. But you take your knee, you flay more than, you can definitely feel that's a pain bot now. I'm giving you that's a pain bot coming up. But that would be no, I'm not going to demonstrate any further, but it would be that would be the nettle. That then, if you do it properly, and so next day you say, or that night you say, that stupid soap guy got me to do this, but it goes really hot. You can feel the heat in my joint. But there's something about it. I found that is something that works.
Amazing.
It's nobody makes any money out of it. It's a free. I find that as a cure for joints, rheumatic joints. Just
that's very
I'll try that first. But it's a free cure, and it's not free of pain. That's the only thing. It's certainly not free of pain. That night, you would be cursing me that night, because it's irradiating pain and heat. But there's something about, if you do it enough, you probably need some means of making you do it like a brandy or something like that, and just give yourself you flay that joint. That's a free one. And
so it's not just that the pain on your skin's taking your mind off the pain inside the joint, is it?
No, there's not. It is an old. I mean, the Romans did it. The Romans, when they brought nettle with them when they came to Scotland. They said, because it would, if you got this nettle sting, it would warm. If they were from Belgium or Syria, they were used to a warmer climate. So when they came to Scotland, that was the folklore. That they would flay themselves with their legs with nettles and it made it warm. So It's
really interesting.
it's
And I
got
suppose
history.
people do use deep heat. They use that thing, deep heat.
Yeah, well, yeah.
There must be
Deep
something in it.
deep pain heat, I would call it. Yeah, it would. But that
Plus, if you're really
is one of
stiff, you're going to need someone to do it. If you're
I'm
really stiff, you're going to need
services.
someone to
Lots
help
of
you with
people look for services to go into. That's a service that probably, but you can do it yourself. It's DIY. It's more appropriate to DIY because that night you're really beginning to need a target of your venom of why it's so sore. But
that's brilliant. So what have you got in your tea right now then? You showed us your cup of tea.
I've got a bit of dandelion. It's a bit of dandelion. Now I also put a bit of sage in. It's getting a wee bit colder. There's a bit of dandelion. Just dig in with my soapy hands. There's a bit of the dandelion. Bit of rosemary. The rosemary's in full. Is in good flower just now. It's lovely just now. That rosemary's just gorgeous just now.
Yeah.
And I put a bit of sage. So the sage is one of the. It is known to relieve stress. So maybe I'm stressed back from the pain of living just now. But I quite enjoy. I enjoy getting back and doing the basic soap making and the soap stuff that I've done since 1961. Was a wee boy down here helping. There used to be one of the hand chamferers used to be sitting round about where I'm sitting just now, and grandmother would have done that. So I remember. I don't think I would have an awful lot of help when I was about 4. I think maybe it would have been part of the thing I might have missed out.
Is that the same equipment you're using now that was purchased in 1921?
Yes, that was that one. Yeah, that I don't know if I can maybe show. There, this is. Let's just see.
That's just like a
now you'll see that machine there. That's I can maybe show. This is how we chamfer. I've got this. I sometimes do this in TikTok. I've done this in TikTok.
Yeah, you're quite famous on TikTok, aren't you, James?
Of what?
You're quite famous on TikTok, aren't you?
Infamous, I think it might be. I think it's infamous, but it was only sometimes. I think when it gets see, I've been doing just serious ones, all about relating to Caurnie and soap. And I need somebody else. I need a cameraman to go my stupid stuff, but I don't have a cameraman because it's just me myself here. So, but I can't do any particularly stupid. It's just normal stupid stuff I do. But that's the billets. That's the bars we'll be sending out. So that's net. These are nettle. That's nettle. So we've got a stack of. That's all nettle and more nettle. We've got loads of nettle. We'll be processing this. They're all nettle. And there's lavender. Lavender's quite big too just now. It'll be going up to Paul's Whole Foods. There's the new shop in Kirky, Paul's Whole Foods. Yeah. He's got stocks up in South Bank Road. But a lot of there's another pile going over to the zero waste shops. There's a zero waste shop in the south side. Look, I've got their bag. There's the book. Take it. Is that coming up? I don't think that's coming up. There's Locavore too. It's not reading. Yeah, take it. Yeah. So they're doing quite good. They don't come out quite to Eastern Bartonshire. It's more south side, but but we're missing the other place we're missing is the Mugged Up Mackers. So I'm a Mugged Up Macker. So that's the shop's closed, but hopefully there was a message today. Hope there's a wee bit of hope maybe that some of the things may be doable again. But what we don't want to do is do anything too soon and then let it out the bag again. We want to do it sensibly. And I think everyone's of that opinion. I don't think it depends how much what's your own business position on things. If it's easy if things are reasonable, but if it's everyone's got a different.
Keep safe and keep your customers safe.
Yeah, you've got to keep customers safe. Otherwise, you haven't got business if you haven't got customers. So you really want it's a synergetic thing we have. So
So we've got some questions here for you, James, people that have been watching. So we have Karen, who says, you're full of knowledge. What is your most interesting fact on your herbs?
Most interesting fact in my herbs. Well, that one about the stinging the nettles to sting yourself.
Stinging is interesting, yeah.
It's also let me think. Most interesting fact in my herbs. Well, sometimes so many weeds. There's plantain. That's ribeye plantain. Now that's another good. There's so many. When you just scratch the weed garden, as I've got, that there's so many interesting things in the herb garden, and that one of the interesting things, it goes back to, they go back centuries, and that's an acquired knowledge. So it's often the things that are under your feet that can be good for your feet. That's peppermint foot rub. That's one of my more interesting ones. It just fixes stallholders' feet. When you market, you get a sort of trench foot type thing, and you try different things. There's loads of things you try, but the only one that worked would be I've usually got it about here. I can't see it. It's peppermint foot rub.
Right.
I haven't got. You can see this isn't a setup because I haven't got it to. I've got it about, so, but that I found that worked. That did actually work, and after a shower, you get a shower every day. Just now, you're getting a shower every morning, and then you're coming home from work, you're getting a shower again, just for safety. A safety shower, a full shower, change your clothes. Just get. That's the way it's working. So you get a lot of washing, and then your feet do suffer if you're standing on a market stall. You're out in all weathers, and your feet you might be covered up, but your feet always get a bit wet. And peppermint foot rub's that's one of the herbs that I've, if I got round in a long way to answering that question.
Yes, no. So is that like a lotion then that you put on?
Yeah, it's like a butter. It's like a, I've forgotten. Should have some. It's quite a thicker application. I might have sold. Oh, there. Right, there it's at the back. That's a bog. That's the dearest one. That is definitely dear. That one. It's good for acne, but people complain. Oh, I've broken a tester. It's lovely that too. That's the foot rub. So it's quite a thick application.
That looks really nice.
Use that as a tester. So it comes out. It's much thicker. So when you put it on your feet, we rub between the toes.
Yeah.
And then all over the toes. But I'm not making much. But it rubs in again. But it doesn't rub in as well as the moisturizer rubs right in. But this leaves. I mean, it's not bad for hands too, but it's really pretty. It's like Pullman City. It's got but that's it. Rubs right in.
That looks great.
And it's really good for your feet but the other thing is to wash between when you shower, come out, wash between your toes in the shower, and then dry between your toes. And I've found drying with, as you're putting your socks on, just use the top of the socks to dry between your toes, and then you put the socks on, and then they're getting washed, and you're not doing it with a towel that maybe somebody else could be getting, so that's a good technique I use. So
we've got another question here from Elsie this time, James. What is a zero waste shop, and where is it in the south side, or the dark side as she calls it?
Well, I'm not getting into that. It's Lockeford. It's Victoria Road. That's the big shop in Victoria Road. It's a lovely. They grow their own. They're a wee bit like a bigger version of me, quite a bigger version of me, because they've got an allotment. They grow a lot of their produce. They then have the shop, and they're opening another place opposite near the GFT in the north of the river. But it's an old pub. they've taken over a big old pub in Victoria Road, and there's a lot of it's a really cool place. It's a bit like another one we've dealt with for maybe since 1976, maybe would be Green City it's a workers' cooperative in Duke Street in the East End of Glasgow, and that's all. It's a bit like when they started off. It's got the same sort of vibe. It's got the same sort of thing going on. It's very, it's well thought out, and we'll send out we'll send out the things like we'll do it in like 5 litres, and then this is 1 litre. They'll take 1 litre, but they'll decant they'll decant like the nettle shampoo that way, and you bring your own bottle, or you get a bottle at the start and they refill it. That's the legal way, but I think it's looser than that. The trading standards used to say it had to be your own bottle that you were getting refilled, which, well, they stopped us doing we used to call it pre-cycling. It's not recycling. It's before it was even recycled. It was pre-cycling, because it was maybe a Neil's Yard bottle you would take and get refilled. Just one of these lovely brands. Neil's Yard's a great brand, but using their bottle again, and our bottles are all a bit utilitarian. I would say they're not. I mean, it's not really. We're not in it for the prettiness of the bottle. Yes. But you take that bottle back, you refill it, and then you get it. It's quite a bit cheaper too. Paul's Whole Foods, they do it as well. There's another one in the East End of Glasgow that's zero waste in Hillfoot. Hillfoot, I think it's just off Duke Street, up at the sort of trendy end of Duke Street.
Yeah.
It's Hillfoot or something, Hill something. There's a zero waste shop there, and that's again. There's tons of nice folk in they really care what they're doing. It's not, they're not in it for the money. They're in it really to make a difference.
They're in it for a passion and to really feel. A lot of them feel really strongly about the environment.
We refill the refills, so that we're unique in that. I think we'll take the stuff, we'll take out in a 5 litre, and we take the 5 litre bottles back and refill it. An awful lot of the other companies they can't cope with that, so the 5 litre bottles are they've got to dispose of them, whereas we try and keep it a closed loop, so it's better. That's usually, we've done it for 20 years, so we know more about doing it. It's not a new thing for us, but a lot of folk don't know about us, so but if everyone finds out about us, we probably can't cope, so it's not the worst thing known about.
Well, just for the people that are viewing the video today, where would they find you if they want to place an order, James?
They'll get me at Caurnie.com. Just the spelling that you see there, Caurnie.com, and it's a bit of a rubbish site. It's not that easy to order, but it's if you feed your way through to buy online, it's easy. I've got loads of orders that I get out. I try and get them out every day. I try and clear the orders, and I've been doing it all last week. I achieved that every just focusing on it. I probably went today. There was this lady phoned me and I had to do this interview today. So I probably won't today.
Sorry, everybody. You're working on your peppermint foot rub. My fault.
Yeah. I hope I don't know. I'll probably sort out now anyway. But if it's local, I'm doing it as now I've called it Zoomazon. I'm doing Zoomazon. Zoomazon.co.uk.
Right.
So quite often it's delivered in 3 hours, but that's only if it's Kirkintilloch or
right. And how does that work? How does that work, James? How do you?
I delivered my way home. That's the way it works. I got a reorder this morning, another one, and she was laughing about it. I've been saying Zoomazon, but it's Zoomazon. Like it's fast. I can't believe how fast Amazon are, but Zoomazon even faster.
Zoomazon's quicker. Yeah. Sounds good. Okay. Yeah. I think I'm going to put an order on Zoomazon myself.
The other way to get it is on. I'm on the Mogai Food Hub, the Great British Food Hub, food hub, which it's on in the Allender Centre. You go along, you order to, well, say over that side, Mulgai and Bearsden. You order online, you pay for it online, you then go along and pick it up in a 2-hour period.
Right.
It's all done very social distancing. It's all done very well, and there's a whole pile of producers are doing it that way. It's without farmers markets. It's actually in some ways more, well, there's two sides to it. It's not quite as social as a farmer's market, and you can tell I'm quite a social person. Farmer's market, trying to shut me up type person. But anyway, the customers tend to be able to pick it up quicker. You know, it's they've got their stuff. What they can't do is like window shopping. You know, shopping with their eyes. But we've been doing it every week, so that's I've been impressed with. It's nicely organised, and that's a good thing, and I think it's a good.
They can browse online, pick up what they want, pay for it, and then they go and collect it. Right, that's
it's
good.
very efficient that way. Yeah. You've just got to load up it takes a bit of time to load up the products. I haven't got that. I've got maybe about a third of the products that I'll probably want to be listing. So it's just getting time to do that. That's normally what I would be doing a lot of. I'd have a bit of time to do that, but my time is now sort of focused on getting. I'll get folk coming to the door. They'll phone up and say, "Are they coming?" There was one this morning wanted 3 sets of 3 bars, and he's a regular customer of Netto. That's Netto. They'll come and get that, and maybe they'll pick up maybe some Netto moisturiser. I would say Netto moisturisers going through the roof just now. There's tons of folk needing it, and they'll come. I've got it set up. They just come to my door. I know if I know who. I shout through the door, "Who is it? Who is it?" And they say, I've come for my Netto moisturiser, and then I'll get my gloves on, put it to the door, open the door. They do it all. It's all within, and I stand back while they do it. So it's 2 minutes. It's a safe way of doing that.
That sounds great. So it sounds like you're managing okay through lockdown. You're still managing to keep your customers happy and get your orders out, and hopefully over the next few weeks they'll start to kind of lessen the restrictions on us.
I see that it going, if they can do it safely. I think the folk in government are following a logical leak-free method.
Okay, I mean, public health has to come first.
Ingestion-free method, I would say. You want to keep it sensible. Keep it according to known facts rather than.
Well, thank you so much, James. You've been brilliant. So interesting. I've loved hearing all your knowledge. I'm sure you've got loads more there, but thanks very much for taking out the time.
You need to come over. We're open every Tuesday normally. And you get deeper into the soapery normally. We have this chalk line that you can only get in so far, and you can sort of smell what's going on, but that's about it. Whereas normally they can't get right through it. Doors open. We sometimes let there's more going on. We'll show them cutting up the handmade processes of cutting soap up, but need more folk available to show that.
Yeah, and you've got some videos on your Facebook page as well if people want to go and have a look, although they can't visit at the moment. So that's at Caurnie Soaperie, and they can go there and look through your previous videos and see some of your at work videos. They're quite good.
There's also, I've got loads of I've got 600 video testimonials. Customers coming back, they'll come back to me how good it is, but I'll say, well, it's not much good telling me because I know what it's like. So I started getting them to video. Not a lot of them they're too shy, but you know, a lot of customers they're willing to pass on what they found about it. So there's 600 of them over different things. That's why I know because the customers tell me. So it goes right back, and that's an Instagram too. I think it's something Caurnie on Instagram. If you type in Caurnie, you might see slightly. I think I've got it linked just now, but some of them go back. They weren't linked. There's some go back, and you'll see different things.
Okay.
I don't really know what I'm doing with social media. I just muddle through. But you'll see.
And if they want to look you up on TikTok, what's your name on TikTok?
No, it's James Little 256 or something like that. It's some weird. You're supposed to keep all your names all the same in social media. Oh well, good luck with that. You've got to be good at planning and know what you're doing. But these things evolve, and I think I think it's James Little 256 or something. It's a number. Maybe searching Caurnie on TikTok, and if you look back, you'll see one that went viral, and it's even stupid. But
yeah, put the links on the post, and if anyone wants it, they can click the links from there. That might be an idea.
I also do Periscope too. Periscope's live streaming, so great. It's great. It's really through Twitter. Twitter's owns Periscope, and there's a pile of. I've done quite a lot in the soapery or out at maybe shows or do the background of shows when things are getting set up. I do bits and pieces, sometimes testimonials and that too, but more the testimonials tend to be on Instagram.
Yeah. So. Well, I can't wait till things are lifted and I can get down and have a look around the soapery. It looks so interesting. Thanks very much for giving us a little glimpse into it.
I'll be delighted to welcome so many of the customers back because we miss you. Miss all the customers. It's all very well keep producing, but we're really doing it for customers. It would be a lovely scene, and it'd be a lovely seeing you when you come in and see. Say if you see us on this, mention you saw it on here, and you'll get a free bar of soap.
Oh my goodness! Wow, that's brilliant. That's great. There'll be hordes of people lining up when the lockdown's lifted, I hope. You've had loads of lovely comments from people here. Is everyone saying thanks so much? Really enjoyed your content, James. They've really enjoyed it this afternoon, and loads of people saying they're going to come and visit you. So
excellent. Well, I show what the outside looks like. So
yeah,
so they can. Because we're in a wee backwater in Canal Lane, Canal Street.
I think I know. Yeah, I think I know. So
let's see. Right, this is. I'll still get out of it. This is. I don't know. You can see, I wouldn't go too far.
Yeah, well,
there's the soapery, and we're down near beside AMK, the car hire place.
Yeah.
So there's still a few. The car hires out and about, but it's a wee blue shed, and that's
great.
I guess gives you an idea. Once you know what it is, people often walk past it. We're on the John Muir Way. You know, the walk. We're also the Thomas Muir trail. One's a trail, one's a way. I can't remember. But the event, it's when they walk from Bearsden. No, we walk from Dunbar to Helensburgh.
Oh yeah.
We're on that the John Muir something, John Muir Trail. But you see the Californians walking it. You know they're doing it because they've got their backpacks on and they're fairly focused. We're about halfway spot.
Great. You're near the Misfit Gym, I think, aren't you?
Yeah, oh yes, I would. Yes, Alana, she's great. She's fabulous. All these ladies come out after in the ladies' gym. She's some folk might well have seen the wee soapery. They can't get quite a few customers coming in. I did a double mint body wash for them, so that after they'd come out, they could get a spearmint and a peppermint body wash. So that was a
sounds lovely.
We had additional product we did for that.
A wee special.
It's lovely and fresh after. Sometimes it looks she works them hard, and they makes some difference. They say you see the before and after.
Yeah.
So,
well, thank you very much. What are you doing for the rest of the day? Are you going to get these soap orders done?
Get these orders, orders. There's paper. I've got invoices to do, which I know I'm putting off doing that. So I'll need to self-motivate, but I'll get orders first, and then I'll maybe do the invoices tomorrow. I've been doing that for 4 weeks, so.
Well, I'm sorry we held you up today, James. Well, it's absolutely brilliant. I've loved every minute of it. Thanks so much for talking to us.
Not a problem. And
take care.
Wash your hands and stay safe.
Exactly. Yes. Thanks again, James. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye bye.